Welcome back to Dolor Factor Live. We're here talking about the new insurance policy developed by EC Global Insurance. Now, Severin, is there anything more that, I mean, of course, there's lots more that we can talk about, but what's one of the things that hasn't come across as yet is who is this new policy targeted towards?
Okay, the policy was specifically designed for the vulnerable in our society. The spin-off for this product is for it to be affordable for those persons who cannot afford traditional insurance, and also to marry climate change risk and insurance. So that is the genesis of the product. So the customers we aiming at, or we targeting as those that normally will not walk into the insurance company and say to us, well, I want insurance. And the cooperatives and the credit unions are well positioned for those for these that target market. So that is the aim. We in the design of the policy, it was not the vision is that it's not expensive, because most often than not, the truth is people say that the insurance is expensive and I just simply cannot afford it. Mm-hmm. So we want it to be affordable, and we want it to be able to allow persons after disaster to have some monies in their pocket, what we refer to as a shock absorber, to help protect their livelihoods. So that is specifically who the policy is designed.
All right, well, Eli, can you tell us what the role is, of the credit union, and how you can help someone who wants to be insured but can't afford it?
Well, Severin has already said the most vulnerable persons in our community usually are left behind as it relates to insurance. And this product is so designed to be sold through the credit unions to the members, and bearing in mind that the credit union itself is part of the community in which, and to the people to whom it would be selling those programs. The premium on this is designed on a yearly basis, but the credit unions can facilitate the premium payment by granting small loans for that purpose, whilst the member then repays on a monthly basis during the course of the year. One of the things which is most striking about this is the fact that now anybody and everybody can afford to have one of those policies. We're talking of a policy where the cost is 8% of the premium per year. So for a $1,000 policy, it would cost you $80. Now, the fact that you can buy this policy in tranches of, say, $1,000 if you want it, or $2,000, or $3,000, up to 10, means that you're able to come in and buy what you can afford. So the question of saying, well, my house has to be insured for $20,000 and therefore I can't afford it, does not apply. I can buy, and we're not talking damage, we're talking about livelihood now. I am an ordinary black Joe, a little carpenter down the road. I earn some money, but there are certain events that can occur that would stop me from working. My livelihood is going to be affected. So what can I do to absorb the shock or to mitigate the loss that I'd suffer if you have such an event? We have too much rain, or the winds are so strong that everything comes to a standstill, and we're saying, hey, here is a program that you can buy into at minimal cost, convenient because you can buy it through your credit unions, and provide yourself with some protection for yourself and your family. Your livelihood, that's what you're protecting. Mm-hmm. Now, earlier on we spoke about someone who might just be living in Beaufort, but sells at the Castro's market. You can have sufficient rain which prevents that person from getting the Castro's to the market and earning their livelihood. So you buy a policy. It may be a small policy for just $2,000 cost you $160 a year. But if there's a trigger, of say 20%, well, you will recoup the money that you've lost by not being able to go to the market to pursue your livelihood. And that is being done by virtue of the fact that it's being sold through the credit union. It's being done locally. Ordinary insurance company would never come to you and offer you such a facility. They just wouldn't. It wouldn't be, as far as they're concerned, it wouldn't be worth their time to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yet, because the credit union is located within the community, you're able to, they can facilitate that kind of transaction and provide you with the support and the cushion that is so important in times of disasters.
Yeah, just to add to what Mr. Markey was saying, the fact is climate change is not just a big thing or, you know, the word around now.
It's for real.
It's for real. I asked a question a while ago with regards to what hurricanes affected us. And if you look, it's almost like a 3-year cycle that these hurricanes affected us, 2004, 2007, and 2010. We saw a couple of years ago in Dennery, our home.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yes.
3 of us from January. Oh my God.
Dennery had this freakish rainfall and flooding. And what we found is that that particular incident is not something that happens regularly. So there is things that are affecting us. The climate is changing. We're not sure what will happen this year, what will happen next year. So there are things happening. And the impact that climate change is having on the individual, more so the vulnerable in our society, that we have to find ways of helping them. A lot of these people will, us rather, depend on government. We say, okay, we're government, we try and get something from government in case there is a, like we can see, this is cul-de-sac, for example. A lot of these persons who may have been affected by that weather system, they may not have been able to come into Castries to earn a living, to sell their products, or to go to the shop because of that climatic event. So what they can do, by taking this policy, they can protect their livelihood. During the carrying out the research, what the consortium found is that a lot of persons, after a disaster like this, that's Hurricane Thomas, they were going into their funds, going into their savings, borrowing from family members. And that only put them deeper into debt and made them even poorer. So the policy can help cushion that effect. You get a payout, and you do not necessarily have to go into your savings as the buffer. So that's the genesis of this product. I think generally it's a good product. We've managed to, since my last time here, change the policy around, because initially we were talking about 49 grid cells, but after some consultations, persons felt like, you know, you need to make it a lot more, where we can pay out more, simpler. So we've divided the St. Lucia into 2 segments. We have the north and we have the south. The north zone runs from Ancillary to Dennery, so we're going north and then we're going to Dennery, and then from Soufrière to Micoud. So it's divided into 5. So any individual, for example, lives in Vieux Fort, but your livelihood, you make your livelihood by selling craft in Castries at the arcade. You may want to take insurance to cover you for the north, because if there is a flooding, if there is rain, heavy rains, if there is heavy wind, then I cannot make my any monies because of that day or because of that event. So the persons may want to purchase that grid in the north, and vice versa. If you work in the south, you may want to buy the policy for the south. So we've also changed the payouts. Initially, we were talking about a 15-year payout to start with. But now we've reduced it to 10, and the payout is more. The payout used to be 10%, but the payout is now 20%.
For 10 years?
Yeah, for a 10-year event. So we've reduced on the what we refer to as the return period, and the payout is more. The policy, the premium is 8% for every $1,000, and the customer or the client purchases as part of a master policy that is purchased by the credit union or the cooperative. So the credit union is the one purchasing the policy, and its members are the beneficiaries. So the credit union is not really selling the policy, but the members are coming onto it as a beneficiary. Now, the interesting thing or the good thing about it is even if the credit union decides to take the policy in January and somebody comes in March, for example, and the credit union says, okay, you know what, mid-year, I am no longer interested in carrying this policy. Though the credit union may stop, but we will continue to cover the client until the expiry date of the policy, which is a good thing. So the customers will have that, that protection for the rest of the year.
Wow, that's amazing. And I'm thinking, if there is anyone out there, and I'm sure there are many people out there who are thinking, this is a really good idea. Don't let that thought process just stay there. This is a really good idea. All right, Severin is here. He will give his information. Mr. Markey is here. He will give his information. And you can get their contact details on the Dolor Factor Live website. So all you need to do is get a telephone number or send your information to us, and we will pass the information on to these two gentlemen who will inform you some more. I think when it comes to insurance, and when it comes to this time of the year, the saying that prevention is better than cure certainly comes to play. And when we look at our communities, as you said earlier, when something goes wrong, then you dip into your savings, and it's even worse.
Well, so it's worse than that, you know. We were looking at some stats. One of the things that, you know, is when you look at the stats and you see that when you've had a major climatic event and you see 86% of the persons who have suffered damage are unable to replace them.
Oh, sad.
Think about it. 86% of those persons who suffered major loss are unable to replace those things. What it means is that you're getting poorer. When the next event comes and you've lost what little you have, now you're in a deeper hole. So every climatic event that we have means that we have the most vulnerable sector of our population gets poorer because they have nothing to cushion the effects of their losses.
You know, when
Nothing at all.
You say that, and it's horrible that that is a fact, what you've said. That's horrible. And you're saying that, and I was actually thinking today when I was getting ready for the show, I was at Strands, and Pam was doing my hair, and a lady came in, and she was saying that it was her birthday, and her boyfriend had bought her this phone that was $2,000. And I sat down and I thought to myself, he bought you the phone for $2,000. I wonder whether your house is insured. You know, and she was just boasting, and she was very happy about it. She was very grateful.
Fine.
But I was honestly, I was sitting there thinking, I wonder whether our house is insured.
The priorities.
Yes, so I'm just thinking, perhaps what we could do as well. I'm very much someone who thinks of practical gifts. If someone says to me for my birthday or Christmas, what would you like? I'm the type of person who would say, oh, you know, can you buy me whatever it is that I will use, that I will need. And I'm thinking, well, we're sitting here now, for the people who have got, you know, birthdays coming up shortly, even Christmas or whatever, perhaps you can ask your friends to get you an insurance policy because it's affordable and it's practical and it will save you so much money and heartache. And some things cannot be replaced, even though you might give the money back. There's certain, you know, precious things, certain personal items, you know, even if it was a basket or something that you were, you know, you were showcasing your products, someone could have, your grandchild or someone could have given you that basket, you know.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Delia, because the policy, an individual could actually purchase it for a parent or a friend as a beneficiary. So you pay the premium, but you put the beneficiary
as your mother, your father,
or a friend you know
friend of yours
who needs to recover in case of a disaster or catastrophe. So you can do that, and that's a very good idea. I mean, spending $80 for 1,000, we see persons a number of times, and we know the impact that has on the entire economy, especially the vulnerable.
Good. Well, hold that thought. We're going to continue talking about the benefits and clarifying some of the issues in this new policy. We've actually closed the lines for the entries for tonight's giveaways, but when we come back, we're actually going to be opening the telephone line so you can give us a call and ask any question you'd like. This is Dolor Factor Live. Please stay with us.